Hi everyone, I wanted to take a moment to go over some of the word problems that are on your summer assignment. I also know that these have been causing a lot of trouble as well. So one of the first ones has to do with the distance, rate, and time. The second one will also do with distance, rate, and time, just of a different scenario. So first, a hiker hikes up a mountain 1 mile per hour slower than she hikes down the mountain. If it takes her 1.5 hours to hike up the mountain and only 1 hour to hike down, how fast does she hike in each direction? So you are given the equation distance equals rate times time, and below in the box you also want to fill in the information that you know. So you have rate, time, and distance as each of those columns across, and up or down. So up the mountain, she's traveling 1 mile per hour slower, meaning that making her rate x for going down the mountain. That means that we're going to subtract 1 because it should be 1 mile per hour slower. So if our rate is 10, then going up the mountain should be 9. It also says that the time it takes her to go up the mountain is 1.5, and the time it takes to go down the mountain is 1. So those get filled in as well. As far as distance, usually your last column is always in terms of the other two, meaning that you might not know the distance, but you do know that rate times time equals distance. So a lot of the times you're going to write it in terms of the other two columns. So rate, which is the x minus 1, times time, which is the 1.5, gives you that distance of 1.5 times the quantity of x minus 1. So what you have to keep in mind is that because they're going up the mountain and down the mountain, it's the same distance altogether. Therefore, you're going to set the expressions equal to each other. So over on the right-hand side, the 1.5 times the quantity of x minus 1 times, or is equal to 1x. And when you go through and solve, you end up with that x is equal to 3, meaning that she hikes at a rate of 2 miles per hour going up the mountain and 3 miles an hour going down the mountain. The second type of word problem is a little different. It says, at 9:15 a.m., 2 planes leave Milwaukee, one flying north at 590 kilometers per hour and the other flying south at 620 kilometers per hour. At what time will they be 3,025 kilometers apart? Again, this is rate times time is equal to distance. Also distance, but you have to recognize that they're going in opposite directions. Since they give you a total, it's going to be a little bit different. Some people may want to draw a quick picture that as one goes north, the other plane goes south, and altogether this total distance is 3,025. So your rate, you know how much it's going north and how much it's going south. They're traveling at the same time. They leave at the same time. So time is both going to be x in this case. Distance, once again, is going to be written as an expression, not necessarily as a specific number that you would need to know. So rate times time, so 590 times x is equal to distance, which is 590x. Same idea for going south. 620 times x is equal to 620x. This time it gives you a total distance. Your total distance is 3,025. Therefore, you want to add up the north plus the south to give you that total distance of 3,025. When you solve, you end up that x is equal to 2.5. But that's not the answer to the problem. After 2.5 hours, the planes will be that many kilometers apart. But it's asking for at what time specifically. So 2.5 hours from 9:15 is 11:45 a.m. Other problems are relatively the same, whether it's talking about savings accounts or going up a river, down a river. If you're going up a river, you are fighting a current, so you might want to subtract x. So it might, or subtract y, depending upon what variable you have. If you're going down a river, that's same idea as a tailwind. It's helping you out, so you're going to add that amount. If you are also talking about I equals PRT, or your principal times the rate is equal to your total investment savings, again, it's going to be similar to writing this final column as an expression versus an actual number. Hope that helps. Any questions, leave comments below. Thanks. Bye.